gonna blow out teams at this point.
What up?
Jimmy Toscano's here. Of course, I am Josue Pavon, CLNS Media. It's the post game show, and the Celtics blowing out teams by 30 points. I mean, I can get used to this. I mean, regardless if it's summer league or not. I mean, at the end of the day, we're talking about a Celtics team that has found its stride. It's compared to other teams, because in this summer league, it's more about point differential. So this team, the Celtics, especially if they top this perfect record with another win this weekend, we're talking about a Celtics team going for the title here. Summer League 2021 title. Jimmy Toscano, how you feel about that? Because if you
Dude,
ask me, that's the best case scenario in this summer, right?
the summer Celtics are an absolute wagon. Okay? Somebody tweeted this to me. I'm having more fun watching this team than I had for the entire all of last season watching the actual Celtics. This is
And you didn't expect this. You didn't expect this, Jimmy. Be honest. You didn't
No, I did
expect
not
this.
expect this, especially after the first game. I was like, oh, Jesus, here we go again. But no, listen, the way they came out today, again, a little bit more the same than what we saw in game two. A lot of Pritchard doing good things, a lot of Neesmith doing good things. You had some help from a couple of unlikely players, Hauser, Begarin. I don't know how we're saying his name, but I'll try to get fancy with it.
That's good
Um,
enough.
yeah, and it's just been fun to watch these guys. The players that I listed, Pritchard and Neesmith, they look head and shoulders better than just your average summer league player out there, which is what you wanted to see going into this summer league. So the summer Celtics are here; they're the real deal. They're going for 4-0 on Saturday. I don't know why they wouldn't get it. I mean, the way they're playing, I mean, they're dropping 100 plus points on these dudes easy with 10-minute quarters here. So you got to like what you see. You got to like the intensity. You got to like the energy. Neesmith tonight, the difference between game two and this game was that the outside shots weren't really falling the way they were in game two, but he was doing other things. He was scoring from within the three-point line. He was dishing. He was driving. Like, he's doing stuff that we didn't see in year one from him naturally. I mean, he's rookie and, coming into a weird season, but he looks a lot more comfortable out there.
Yeah, we got to lead with Neesmith, man. We're talking about another 30-plus point performance, right? Even though he wasn't the only one,
Yeah.
he was far from the only one tonight. I mean, three of these Celtics players scored 30-plus points, but I
No,
mean, the
no,
fact
no,
that
no. You're looking at plus minus.
yeah, but the fact that Neesmith only drained two 3-pointers though, like some people would say, oh, okay, that's not what we signed up for, but he was creative in the sense of trying to find other ways to score, and that's the
Right.
reason why he ended up with 30-plus points, right? Because
No, no,
all the
no.
naysayers, but Jimmy, all the naysayers out there, think about it, they're gonna go out and say, oh, well, yeah, you
He
can
didn't
score
have
30
30
points.
plus points though. His plus minus. You're looking at plus minus. He
No, I know,
had,
but no, okay, all right, yeah, you're right, all right, he had 18, yeah, right, I didn't.
dude. I'm just making sure that we're on the same page here, bro. That's all. I just want to make sure. It
This
looked
damn,
like it looked
this
like he
damn,
had the way he was playing. It looked like he had 30 plus points. The way Pritchard was
no.
draining those shots, I can see that. The way Hauser was draining those shots, yeah. But listen, they played well, and the plus 30 is almost just as good as 30 points.
No, but the thing is that people are going to look at what he did last game and be like, oh, well, yeah, it's easy to score, that many points when he scores 7 threes, but he only had 2 threes in this game. He ends up with 18, and at the end of the day, people are going to say, oh, well, yeah, he's not just a three-point shooter. This guy can score
Right.
buckets, and that's what I want to see from Neesmith. I want to see someone who can score buckets and find other ways to score besides behind the three-point arc.
Right, because I mean this is obvious, but the more ways you can score, the more dangerous you're going to be out there. You don't want to be a guy who just parks himself at the 3-point line and can't do anything else. If you can drive, if you can dish, if you can facilitate, the defense still has a long way to go. We're not expecting them to turn into defensive stalwarts in summer league here, but to see the comfortability that we're seeing, to see him, like we said, score in different ways and look like at times the best player on the court, that's what you want to see. So I was very happy with that. And, Pritchard's another guy that's super impressive. Talking about a guy who's doing everything. I mean, his passing's been great, but the thing that's standing out to me is this dude's looking like Steph Curry out there. The way he's stepping back
Wow.
and draining 30-plus footers. I'm talking about logo Pritchard, man. Logo
Yeah,
Pritchard is here, dude.
yeah. But we said it from the very beginning, right? Like they're you can tell they're telling Pritchard to not worry about those shots, or Pritchard's himself working on those shots. Like he's obviously has set the example here in terms of that distance. But of course, it's the summer league. We're talking about Celtics still undefeated here,
Bro,
3-0. We got
I
Bobby
got my Oregon shirt
Manning.
on.
Yo, is that why
I
you
got my
put that on for
Pritchard shirt
Pritchard?
on. Yeah, I had to put that on at
I was
halftime.
gonna say, there's no chance you had that shirt before Pritchard was drafted for the Celtics, bro. I knew it. I freaking
That's
knew
not
it.
true. No, that's not true. I did have it before he was drafted. Thank you very much.
Not
I'm
for
a huge
nothing though.
Justin Herbert fan.
Yo, not for nothing though. The Oregon has some
Dude,
great apparel. Like their gear is on point.
dude, they're
Like
basically
Boise
Nike.
State, like for the fans of like that blue, Boise State, that's for you. But for Oregon, like their jersey is just on point regardless of how you feel about color patterns. It's like
Dude, yeah.
they don't mess around. They
They're
don't mess
like
around out there.
Nike's guinea pig, dude. They'll just say, "Hey, we
For
want you to wear
real.
these." Like, here, check this out, and then there they go. But yeah,
Yo,
Pritchard tonight though,
that's
doing
so
his
true
thing
though.
again, Neesmith doing his thing, and then we mentioned him, but this dude Hauser, and I don't want to spoil it,
Oh
but
man.
our guy Bobby Manning, who's in Vegas along with
The one
Sherrod.
on one. Got that
Bobby
one
had,
on
I
one.
think the rumor is Bobby's got a little one-on-one, and I saw him creeping. He was creeping in the background of Hauser doing a walk-off interview on ESPN. Bobby was creeping in the background.
He was tapping his shoulder like, hey yo, I got you
Somebody
next, right?
tweeted,
I
yeah.
got you next, right?
So someone tweeted me a picture. I had to retweet it. Bobby's just like sort of creeping. It's like, yo, man, he's got the hat on low, like just kind of like creeping the back. He's got the mask on,
Right,
but yeah,
right.
allegedly we might have a little Hauser sidebar coming up, so that'll be nice. But shout out to Hauser. I mean, that dude's had the 4-point play tonight. I mean, he was wet in the
Oh
second
man.
half, man.
Yo, 21 points and 7 assists, that'll do it. You know what I mean? Like
That's
that's
peak
gonna get
summer league.
that's gonna get people talking about you. For real. That's peak summer league. And that's gonna get people talking about you. And of course, we got Bobby Manning, we got Sherrod Blakely, both of those guys out in Vegas. They're gonna be joining us in a couple of minutes. So for sure, we'll have all that access in terms of what they were able to say to people and the kind of reports that they have,
Mm-hmm.
that we saw a couple of nights ago, because they're out there. But yo, Jimmy, I'm telling you, this team, you know, they have a great. Not only do they have a great chance of going to the championship, but I just feel like a lot of these guys are going to walk away from the summer league not only motivated, but feeling like they can really make a legitimate step forward in their careers. Whether we're talking about Peyton Pritchard, whether we're talking about Neesmith, guys that can take on a role right away. And I think there's a lot to say about that for sure. You
Get
know.
John. I'll just say this: get John off of our post game show right now. I need John Zannis comment. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see
Yo,
it.
John is
That
loving it.
guy
He's
is
in
not on
Gillette.
this show tonight. John's got his own Patriots post game show coming up after the Pats. We'll see if the Pats can take care of business against the Washington football team. We won't say
Right.
the R word anymore. But he's trying to steal our viewers. But we're gonna keep it going
Yo,
strong here
program
for a
alert
bit,
for
anyways.
everybody. Yeah, for all you
Program
Pat
alert.
fans out there.
Yeah, you can watch both. I think we'll probably wrap up before their starts anyway. So luckily you'll be able
Probably.
to watch both. But
We
back to the
got time.
C's here. 3-0, and again they look like, I don't know if you saw the beginning of this game, but it looked like the Celtics were just in a different class than the Magic. And I think maybe the Magic might just be that bad. I mean, the Magic could not
Yeah.
even inbounds the ball. They couldn't even get a shot up before turning it over to start this game. And the Celtics kind of let them hang around a little bit. But in that second or third quarter, they really sort of stuck it to them. And that's when you saw Pritchard and Neesmith kind of hit a few. And Beggarine had a nice little first half there. That's a player, and Beggarine, like, he basically said, hey, Brad, like, I want to show that I can play. I mean, this kid's like, 18 years old, coming overseas. Nobody knows much about him, but he can slash. We've seen him hit some corner threes. And, just stuff like that where it makes you kind of think that, he has a bit of a future. I mean, I'm not saying that he's going to make the team this year, obviously. There's no roster spot for him. But the way he's playing out there, it kind of shows that he does look like he belongs in this level, at least. And to be able to say that at age 18, just wait, don't get too low on me, bro. Don't get too low on me, bro.
Am I too
Fancy.
low? My bad. My bad. My bad.
Easy. I don't know.
I'm trying to adjust my cam here.
I know you're working from home. I want to make sure you got pants on before you get any lower, but.
Yeah, I do. I'm good.
All right, good. As long as you're good. I just
Go
want to
on.
make sure. Yeah, I don't want FCC coming after us. But anyways, what I was saying was this kid had a nice little game to him, and I know that there's not a future this season. Like, he's not going to be in the roster this year, but shout out to him for basically telling Brad, like, hey, like, let me play, let me show that I can, let me show you guys what I'm made of. And I think Celtics fans are going to maybe keep tabs on him, while he's overseas, as opposed to some of these other guys who go overseas where you just don't know anything about him. But having seen him play a little bit in Summer League kind of gets fans attached to him. Maybe they hop on his social media and sort of follow him over there wherever he ends up and kind of go from there. So it's good to see him contribute too. That's what summer league's all about, dude. I mean, you can overanalyze this stuff all you want,
that's
but
true.
bottom line is, it's just good to see little flashes from these guys because, a lot of these players you're not going to see in the same role or even close to that same role, but you get to see sort of what they're capable of when they're put in a different role or a bigger role, lesser competition, but you just tell them to do different things out there.
Are we getting too excited about this Pritchard Neesmith connection? Like, not to say
Yes, and
that,
that's
like,
totally okay.
yeah, but it's not to say that these two are connected, but the fact that they're both able to take things to the next level, it seems like, at least from what we've seen throughout this span, like, is it too crazy to say that these two could have a legitimate role next season, or is it just me?
It's not crazy at all. I mean, I think everyone's expecting them both to have a role. I mean, hell, John was on the show, I think, saying they should start Neesmith, which, and I can tell
Yeah.
you what, if he plays more and more like he has, you're going to start hearing that more often because what he would allow, guys like Tatum and Brown to do with him sort of playing off in the corner and opening up the floor. But those guys definitely have big roles. I mean, the way Pritchard's playing, he's basically saying, hey, I know you guys just signed Schroeder and, all this stuff, but don't forget about me because, I'm going to make sure that when I'm out there, you're not going to want to take me out of the game. And the way he's playing, I mean, talk about range. I mean, this guy has it. I mean, he's shown multiple times over the last couple games, two, 3 games, that he's not afraid to hit that 30-footer. I mean, it's simple as that. He's not afraid to take it, and he's been making it. He was feeling it tonight. So those guys certainly have roles. And honestly, if you're the Boston Celtics and you want to make a playoff run, you better hope that they have roles because you're not deep enough in any other way. I mean, those guys are on your team to have a pretty substantial role, and it might be maybe it's asking a little bit too much out of them in their second years, but I don't think so. I mean, certainly last year Pritchard showed that he was capable of playing out there. I know he hit a little bit of a rookie wall, but generally speaking, I mean he took at least Celtics Nation by storm out of the gates. Cooled off a bit, but I think he certainly has a nice little role carved out. And Neesmith, the way he's playing, and he still has a lot to learn, again, on the defensive end, and I do think he runs around like a crazy man sometimes. But what his value is. He can shoot, and what we saw tonight was that he might be able to do a little bit more than just shoot. But we can't talk about Neesmith and Pritchard without talking about the third head of, I would say, the three-headed monster of Romeo Langford. A DNP tonight. A DNS, a did not show, did not dress.
Come on, don't discredit him for that. Don't discredit him for that, Jimmy. Come on, man.
I just don't know why. I mean, I just assumed he was starting. I didn't really pay much attention of anything pregame. I just turned on the game and I was like, why isn't Romeo Langford in the game? And then I go on Twitter and see that it's a scheduled day off. That's a little weird to me. I mean, I hope that it really is just a scheduled day off. There's no injuries or anything like that. But at the same time, why isn't he playing? I mean, this guy certainly hasn't stood out in the first 2 games, not the way you want him to. I mean, yeah, I know he had the dunk. But if you took away the dunk,
but honestly,
and
Jimmy,
he had the game-winning shot, and he had the game. All right, so he's done 2 really good things. But other than that, though, it's kind of like I think everyone's looking to see a little bit more out of him, and certainly probably want to see him in the game.
But it's like what you just said about the dunk, right? I can't help but wonder if the dunk has something to do with his injury. I mean, we know about the wrist injury and, the season that he had, coming into Summer League. So,
yeah,
hopefully that's not the case, though. Hopefully they just wanted to showcase the younger guys.
I mean, if you can't go 3 straight Summer League games, like not even talking back-to-backs, like
I know.
What are we even talking about here? Like, don't tell me he needs rest.
Well, maybe he got too he got too happy.
Think he was on the blackjack table too late last night?
No, not even that.
Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that dunk. Maybe he just went too hard with it. Maybe that's what it was. Hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully it's all about the younger guys. Because if that's the case, if it takes that kind of dunk for him to miss a couple of games, then I don't think that's the kind of guy you want for the Celtics, man. That's injury prone. I don't
exactly. You don't want that label. But I'll say this. Don't tell me that, he's sitting to give, the younger guys. He is the younger guys. You are the younger guy. 75% of the players on this team are not going to be on this team. You are the younger guy. So, don't tell me that, listen, I'm glad that Hauser did his thing tonight, but don't tell me that, you wouldn't have rather see Romeo hit a few of those shots, right? So that's kind of the concern there. I mean, it's more not really a concern to me. It's more just a question mark. And I guess if he's out there Saturday and he looks good and he plays well, then I guess it doesn't really matter. And maybe Pritchard and Neesmith sit Saturday. I don't know what their talking about in terms of resting guys and all that. But certainly the way Neesmith and Pritchard have been playing, I'd like to see Romeo out there kind of doing a little bit of his thing too, and just give Celtics fans like a reason to be really excited about this summer league team. Because if you told me that summer league would end and Neesmith and Pritchard were, two of the top performers, I think you'd be pretty freaking happy with that.
Oh, no question.
Speaking of pretty freaking happy.
Yo, right on cue. My guy,
there he
Sherrod
is.
Blakely, coming at us from Las Vegas. What's up?
Chugging. Chug that Pepsi, dude. Does he know that?
It's thirsty out there. He's thirsty out there.
What's in that can, bro?
Sherrod just found out.
The thirst is real, Jimmy.
The thirst is real. I'm sure it is.
The thirst is real. How you guys doing?
I'm chilling.
We're better now.
Give us the lowdown. I'm
waiting for I'm waiting for Safari Hat Bobby to roll in here any minute now. See what our latest excursion will be.
We saw Bobby creeping. We saw Bobby creeping on the court. He walked by the cameras after the game. We saw him creeping with the hat on.
Yo, he was tapping. He was tapping Neesmith's shoulder. Like, yo,
he had the hat on low. Looked like he had found his guy.
But we're not mad at it. We're not mad at that. We like that. We like that energy.
That's Bobby, man. That's Bobby's style.
Sherrod, you were there tonight, man.
Bobby's on the grind.
How was the game, bro?
The score will tell you how the game was. It was over before it started.
Little lopsided.
The cool thing about the game was you saw Pritchard really just kind of control the action from the beginning to end. Sam Hauser, when that three ball he's pretty damn special. But for the most part, this game just did have a lot of juice to it. It was a good win. And the thing that I do like about the Celtics is that they're getting these summer league teams down and they're just putting their heel on the throat. I mean, they're not letting up at all. So
right, yeah. I mean, it was a blowout, and like you said, Sherrod. I mean, the way Orlando came out, I mean, it was like turnover. I was like, oh boy, like this game's already like looking like it's gonna end before it even started.
I'm not gonna lie. My favorite part of the game, no one saw any of it, was like talking to Jerry Stackhouse about Neesmith. That was like, for me, that was like the best part of the game.
Well, can you enlighten us a little bit? Can you tell us what?
That's actually low key. That's a great comp, Sherrod. If he turns into Jerry Stackhouse, that's the guy I want him talking to Jerry Stackhouse more often.
Well, his former coach, Jerry Stackhouse, a.k.a. former All-Star Jerry Stackhouse, is very complimentary. We had him on a podcast, and he talked about how he believed Neesmith in 5 years will be an All-Star. And if he can continue to elevate his game and play with the kind of aggression we've seen in Summer League, that's not as far-fetched as it might sound. Neesmith's a good player. The improvements he's made in his ball handling, I think, are really that's going to be key to his growth, because the shot making, I think that's going to come. I think he will easily get better in that area, but it's the ball handling. It's the things that he can do when he's not looking for his own shot. That's what's going to define how good he's going to be.
Well, what did you think about the fact that he was looking for shots that were inside the three-point arc? Like, I love the fact that he wasn't discouraged by, only going 2 for 7. He continued to look for other looks. Like, I think there's much to be said about that,
Yeah, he's got to be a smarter player. I mean, he's got to figure out ways to impact the game other than the three ball. And I thought when he first came into the league, I thought that was really weighed heavily on his mind. And now he's just out there trying to make plays. And more times than not, it's him being able to score in different ways, because Peyton is, it's no secret. Peyton is looking for him, because Peyton is a point guard. That's what you do. You get the rock to the guy who can make shots. So
I think those two are key for next year, man. I really do. Like, I don't know.
Is that an Oregon shirt Jimmy has on?
Yes, he's repping. Yeah. He's repping.
Come on, man. So now you're going to jump on the Peyton bandwagon. Now you're going to jump on it.
I bought this shirt.
That's what I told him.
I bought this shirt in 2019 prior to Peyton Pritchard, but I will say that, it's a happy coincidence that I'm wearing it in the night where he was logo Pritchard tonight. Sherrod, another guy, Neesmith aside, I mean, Pritchard's, they're kind of like the Splash Brothers out there right now.
Oh, stop, Jimmy.
I'm just saying, dude. Shades of the Splash Brothers out there, dude.
Damn, you talk about what am I drinking? I think I need to ask you that damn question. Splash Brothers. Come on.
Yeah, I gave you the benefit of the doubt.
All right. Well,
Oregon has a great color pattern, so that's why he's rocking it. And now we got Bobby Manning joining us, with the hat on and everything. What's up, Bobby? What
I'm
you got for
here.
us?
Bobby Buckethead.
Are the Celtics gonna win this all, or what's up, man? Are they gonna be the Summer League champs or what? Like they are balling right now.
We'll see. I don't know if they're going to sit a guy down the stretch here. It was very weird what happened with Langford today. Joe Mazzulla didn't say anything about it, really. Just said he didn't play. He's fine. He'll play on Saturday. So that's all we got on that front. And I don't know. I tried to see if Pritchard, any of these other guys are going to take a seat down the stretch here, and couldn't get anything on that either. So here I am, empty-handed.
That's okay.
Well,
That's okay. Don't go so hard on yourself.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Go ahead, Jimmy.
No, I was going to ask Bobby we already asked Sherrod what his thoughts were on Neesmith tonight, but what did you see out there between Neesmith and Pritchard?
Well, Pritchard's range is crazy. That shot at the end of the third was Curry range, Sherrod, right? Close.
It was Curry-like range, but you know what? His reaction was so non-Curry.
Yeah, but don't call them Splash Brothers, Bobby.
Stop it, Jimmy. Stop it, Jimmy.
Well, last 2 games, he's been pushing triple-double totals with the assists, strong rebounding. I know John said it looks like he's a little bit out of shape. The stockiness, I think, has helped him in the lane physically. Still not a ton of the pick-and-roll stuff you want to see out of him, but overall, his reads in transition, finding guys on the sideline, the movement on this team. You asked if they're going to win the title. I think they're pretty well connected right now, and if they keep playing these guys together, to beat an Orlando team that's got Hampton, Suggs, all these different guys, probably the most lottery talent in the summer league. I don't know. Houston's probably the only other team. I don't know the records, though. I don't know who else is in the running here.
But the one thing I'll say is this. When your team is stocked with lottery-type talent on the summer league roster, that means you're probably going to be a team that's all about potential and not progress.
Yes, that's what we saw at Orlando.
You got lots of potential, but, I mean, that team's not going to be very good. I like Suggs. I think he's going to be really good.
He's been quiet out here.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't see these guys making a significant impact once the games start and they matter. But it's fun to watch them play out here in Summer League, run around a little bit, get Romeo dunking on a couple guys every now and then.
Yeah, that's what Summer League is all about. You don't really care that much about listen, if the Celtics go undefeated and win the title, are they going to raise a banner in the TD Garden? I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe
you will.
Maybe
they'll be a banner in Jimmy's house.
Maybe
I like a Summer League title.
Retire my Oregon T-shirt if they do. But the wins and losses aside,
you got throw in the back the way Bobby does with the Al Horford jersey.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
We might have to make our own. That would be fun. It doesn't mean everything, obviously, but you've seen some decent young cores win a Summer League title. I believe that Memphis team with Brandon Clark did it. The Lakers did it when they got that young cast together that I believe had Kuzma as the MVP. I don't know if Ingram and Ball were out there for that thing, but hey,
Kuzma's the MVP. I remember that.
We did all this complaining after the first game that Pritchard and Neesmith haven't separated themselves.
Exactly.
They're out here destroying teams now and doing it in different ways than we've seen last year. Pritchard able to create for teammates and set guys up as a floor general. Neesmith getting off the bounce into those mid-range, doing some sidestep, step-back action. He's been really able to create his own shot in a way that we didn't see last year. So we wanted progress here, and we'll see how it translates, but we have definitely seen progress from 2 guys that are very important. Langford, 3 games later, still remains to be seen, but you really only needed 1 wing to step up, right? And Neesmith's doing that.
Well, Bobby, let me follow up on that because I thought it was so interesting that Neesmith wasn't the kind of guy who had to rely on his 3-point shot to flirt with the 20-point scoring night, right? Like, obviously, he didn't score as many points as he did, the last Summer League game. But what do you have to say about the fact that he was able to get inside that 3-point arc and find other ways to score, as opposed to like having to drop 5 or 7 3-pointers in order to reach 20+ points?
It's impressive. It shows that he's going to be able to do other things than just be a spot-up shooter in this league, which is really all he did early last year. He has struggled at times from the 3-point line. He did again today. Jimmy crossed out all those X's on the shot chart I pulled up to try to make it look like a more beautiful night. But I said on
You
Twitter,
said
like, it was a-
beautiful. Dude, you can't say beautiful night and then put a graphic up where it's like X, 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 X.
I know, but
3.5.
overall, he was 7 of 14 from the field. You guys hate the three-pointer. A lot of people on this network hate the three-pointer. You should be happy about a 5 or 7 star, 4 mid-range shots. That's a pure-looking shot from him in between there. Shot that he's going to be able to get because I'm going to try to run him off the line, try to make him go off the dribble there. So just hugely encouraging the progress that we've seen from him. Now, there's still times where he looks a little methodical, gets caught up in his own mistakes. I've seen that from him in the summer league, smashing the ball off the floor and just getting frustrated when he makes one wrong move. It's going to be a lot more mistakes in year 2. He's going to be able to roll with those punches. That's something I talked to Sherrod about during one of the games. Is like, this guy freaks out over mistakes more than I've ever seen. He's a perfectionist. You can tell.
Get over it.
Yeah, for real.
It's not perfect. It's never going to be, never will be a perfect game. You make mistakes.
Especially if you're a shooter.
It's not how you deal with the mistakes. It's how do you bounce back from them. You know, the best players will have games where they go 4 for 17. But you know what? On that 18 shot where you're down by 2 and you got the rock and you got a good look at a 3-point shot, the great ones make that. The good ones make it more times than not. But the guys who hesitate, nah. I think Neesmith is trending in the right direction. I think he's going to steadily become more comfortable regardless of how he's shooting the ball, to just keep shooting, because that's what got you to the league. Don't forget what got you to the league.
Shooters have to be like cornerbacks. Like if you're a corner and you get burned on a big catch, you got to shake that off, forget about it, and get the next play's coming up. And that leads me to my next point. That leads me to my next point. Patriots postgame live tonight after Patriots Washington football team. CLNS has you.
That's your next point.
That's why John Zannis isn't on the show tonight. He's going to be overdoing the Patriots. The Patriots cheating on us tonight with the Patriots. So check that out. I think there'll be some links posted in the chat probably. There you go. And that'll be fun. First game back at the Pats. A lot of hype going into this game. How's Cam going to look? How's Mac going to look? Early reports seem like Mac had a pretty good first showing. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing, but it feels like overall people are happy with it.
Keeping tabs on the Pats. I haven't heard anything.
Mac's gonna win that, huh?
Yeah,
should have tuned over in the fourth quarter.
I think Cam had it like an early turnover, right? Where he got, I think, sacked or stripped or something like that.
Probably, I missed that, but he had a pretty tough. I'm not going to get into it, but it was like 3rd and 17. He's like threw it into the dirt. Anyways, they'll talk about that at length on the Patriots postgame show. So
we will not. Thanks,
stay
Jimmy,
tuned
for bringing
for more
that up,
info.
though.
We will not talk about it anymore. No, we'll bring it up one more time. John's gonna, I think, pop his head in and sabotage the show at some point. So we'll let him do that at some point. But back to the summer Celtics. I just want to say one thing. I'm not really hung up on wins and losses. I don't care if they win the thing. It'd be great if they do. What I wanted to see was role players show that they belong as role players in the NBA. And so far, we're seeing 2 out of 3 guys. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as the saying. So right now, we're seeing Neesmith step up, and we're definitely seeing Pritchard step up. And those are guys, and Josue asked me prior to Sherrod and Bobby coming on, if you see those guys having, decent roles on the team this year. And I think the answer to that is a definite yes. It has to be, because if you're not getting those guys off the bench, or in some cases maybe even starting if it's Neesmith at some points, then you're thin. You're too thin, because you don't have enough depth if those guys aren't contributing, because you're looking at those guys as solid contributors this year. So to see them sort of show out a bit, that's something that, if you're a Celtics fan, and if you're in the Celtics organization, you have to be thrilled about, because you're going to need them in big ways throughout an 82-game season.
You know what? And it may very well become my very first, apology cam for Bruno Fernando.
Oh man,
yeah, Bruno.
He's been pretty damn good.
He has been.
Bruno's been, and again,
for now,
up to this point, he has done maybe
fighting
just a smidgen more than you. He's done like maybe a smidgen more than you, Jimmy, have done in the NBA. So the expectation level is extremely low.
Just about. He's getting an opportunity right now, and I'm not.
He's good. He's playing really well. I love what I'm seeing out of him. I love the fact that he can put it on the floor. I love that he can finish. He's doing good. He's doing a lot of good stuff. But I always have to put it in a framework of, remember, it's summer league.
Mm-hmm.
So many guys I've seen become summer league stars. And when the games actually count, forget about the games that count. Let's just even get to the preseason. They don't even play well in the preseason. Forget about the regular season. So he's done well in summer league. The next step, what can he establish himself when he's going against the Robert Williams and the Al Horfords in practice and earning minutes and taking some of the minutes from those guys? That to me is what I'm much more interested in Bruno Fernando now than I was like a week ago.
He's not going to do that.
Bobby?
From Horford and Rob? I don't see it. There's some injury depth here.
No.
To me, it went from being something where there was no shot to where now it's a long shot, and that's progress. Because
that is true.
Before summer league, there was no shot, but now at least it's not as big a stretch to imagine that he could carve out 5-10 minutes per game the way he plays. Wouldn't shock me.
Right. He's no Bobby.
I mean, that means Rob's not playing 48.
Bobby, he's no Moses Brown, you know. So you gotta take what you can. You know what I mean?
You're right, Jimmy.
So those are the guys we gotta compare there. And you know, Josue, you talked about this when Brown came to the Celtics. He was a phenomenal rebounder. That is the one thing I'll really give him that he proved last year. I need to see a little bit more of that from Fernando because Orlando was swallowing up the offensive rebounds early in this game when the game was tighter before it separated later. I love his high post movement. I love his ability to take the ball on the dribble, which we've seen here. May even be a little shooting potential there looking at him pregame, just the way his shot looks there. Free throw, hovering just below 70% for his career, so that's going to have to clean up in that sense. And then his size, his length, I think is just a little on the small side for him to be a defensive stopper out there. But the energy is infectious. The yelling, he pile drived the guy and was like, foul on one of the plays. So there's great energy there. There's a lot of hustling in his game. It's a project. He's 23, I believe. So he's very early in his career, and there's an opportunity if he sticks with this team to develop, play a little bit in Maine, I'd imagine. This was a guy I liked a lot in college. He was a great energy at Maryland when I saw him coming up to Syracuse. So I don't know if that Mo Brown, Bruno Fernando conversation is going to keep rolling for a while here.
I think like
for a little while.
Sherrod mentioned, I mean, he's doing everything he can right now to hang on to one of these roster spots. So I've liked what I've seen. I mean, again, it's limited role. You know, we're talking, I don't even know what number you'd put him on the rotation, close to probably 9 or 10, 11, 12. I don't even know, but he's not a guy that's going to be.
There's a lot of bigs in front of him.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of bigs. Not a guy that's going to be coming in, to give you 20 minutes a game. But if he can come in and give you that energy, I mean, if he can come in and spark the team a little bit, how many times have we said that the Celtics just look flat out there? So it would be great if he can provide that. So
you would love Rob to be able to play over 25 minutes a game this year, potentially. You would love Horford to be able to play every single game this year and not have to rest a ton. And you would like Cantor to be able to get in there under a new coach much more than he did with Stevens. So ultimately, if Bruno doesn't play at all this year, I don't think it'll be the worst thing in the world. I feel differently about Sam Hauser. Have we talked about him yet?
I was just going to lead into that because we did a little tease that you may or may not have spoken to Hauser after the game. And we did see you creeping up on him on the court. Somebody did tweet me a picture.
Could you not say creeping, Jimmy? Can we just
creeping?
Say that he approached him?
It looked like he was kind of, he had the hat on low. It looked like he had, was kind of.
Yo, Bobby,
He's walking up on him with like a freaking overcoat on with his hands in his pockets.
Well, he did have the bucket hat on, so you just don't know with these guys. You don't know with these guys. Bob, why don't you talk to us about Hauser?
Lots of comments on the hat in the tunnel, by the way.
Give me some.
It's a mixed reviews.
Mixed reviews, to put it lightly.
Hauser was like, take off that silly ass hat. No,
I
got called a safari look at one point down there, but anyway.
Yeah, I can see that. I can totally see it. Well, you're the bucket hat guy for the rest of the weekends in Vegas, so congrats to that.
You got to hold it down though.
I stole 3. He was actually on the podium after the game, so a lot of the basketball stuff got out of the way there in terms of his shooting role. Joe Mazzulla was very impressed with his off-ball movement that opened up certain guys. In fact, I'm going to have to go back and look at one of the plays that he said was the most unselfish summer league play he's ever seen, where his movement opened Nesmith wide open and he didn't make it, but the movement off the ball, he said, was just absolutely phenomenal from this guy. He's got decent size. I think he's 6'6". You know, he's going to be able to play the wing for this team when he does come up from Maine in those two-way opportunities. And the shot is Pierre. I think he was 42% at Virginia last year. Sherrod, he had 20+ on Syracuse twice, and Kuhn in that tournament game where Syracuse lost in the ACC tournament. So this guy's a sharpshooter.
Hate to see that.
Tony Bennett would toss around names like
Shut up, Jimmy.
Clay Thompson. Some of the best shooters you've ever heard of is the names. All right, 6'8" I'm seeing in the comments. Yeah, he is even taller. Could play some stretch four for this team. I like his game. His shot is pure. And we heard a lot of the basketball stuff in the post game. I actually talked to him about a lot of the charity work he does. He's been doing like social justice stuff, charity, studied like just education things in terms of like low-income communities at Virginia. That was like a big research project he did there. So this guy's like very involved.
He majored
in
education things.
I didn't get a firm grasp on what it was specifically. I think it was just like connecting people to different educational opportunities or something like that. So I mean, he's been pretty involved in the community throughout his life. So that's something I want to hit on briefly with him, and I'll probably write about over the next few days here.
What do you think?
Oh, by the way, he can flat out shoot. Damn,
well, yeah.
shoot. I mean, it looks
sure
pure.
Looked like it
up close. It looks like shit. It looks really pure.
I gotta pull this Tony Bennett quote.
So where's a guy like Hauser? Where does he end up? Does he end up in the league somewhere, or does he end up overseas? Like, how does
Maine first, then with the Celtics?
That's what I was thinking. Send him to Maine.
I think he
has a 2-way contract now. He's signed.
Yeah.
So
you don't have to worry about him.
Yeah, you'll see him in some Celtics games.
So the Maine Celtics are going to have themselves a nice little shooter this year.
Absolutely.
If I had to guess, because I don't know if Carson Edwards is still going to be around. You know, I think the Dennis Schroeder signing sort of changes things in the sense of where people stand.
Who did you say, Josue?
I said Carson Edwards, man. His days might be numbered right now.
Jimmy knows where I'm going.
I do know where you're going with that. Yeah, his days might be numbered, but
what you mean? What's going on?
No, I think at this point, I just think he just hopes to have a number.
Yeah,
I think Carson at this point just hopes to have a number.
He's not.
Let the days be numbered all they want to be, but do I have a number?
He may not leave Vegas.
And I don't know, and I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah, he might just stay out in Vegas and just try to hook up with another team.
Oh man, but not for nothing though. Carson sounded bummed out way before the Dennis Schroeder signing. Like it almost not bummed out, but it almost seemed like he was like, "Listen, I'm just going to keep shooting, and if that's not enough for you guys to convince you guys, then I'm gonna keep it moving." Like I just felt like he never sort of sent the message that he was working on any other part of his game outside of shooting from behind the arc. You know what I mean?
What can he do? Didn't shoot the brick though. What can he do? He's not going to. He can't post up. He can't lock you up defensively. He's not going to run your team because he's not. He doesn't have that kind of. He's not a playmaker.
I was almost like Sherrod. I was almost like, yo, Carson, can you just lie to me? Can you say you worked on defense? Can you say you care? Can you say you care about defense? Like, geez, like
he's just in that weird place where I think he's better than guys who play overseas, but maybe not good enough to be an NBA player. It's a weird place he's in right now. He's got to be in the right situation at the right time, and I'm not sure that's Boston right now.
No, not right now.
The way that they're starting to stack talent, it looks like they're starting to be like,
especially at the guard position.
How you doing over there?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
the house is getting kind of full.
I mean,
there's only so much room in VIP backcourt lounge,
right?
And you may be at the door knocking, trying to get in. Yeah. I don't know if you're going to get into the VIP guard suite with the Celtics.
Not anymore.
Right. I mean, and what you're seeing now is the difference is like a guy like Pritchard, for example, is taking that step. He's taking that next step where he is sort of definitely,
I've been really impressed by him.
For sure. And he's definitely distancing himself from the rest of the pack and proving that he's a reliable option off the bench. I mean, there were times last season where we were pulling our hair out being like, where's Pritchard? Well, why doesn't Pritchard get the spot start? Why isn't he, coming off the bench and playing, 25 minutes? I don't think we're going to be asking ourselves that question this year. I think that he's going to show early on in camp or whenever he gets that opportunity. Now he's showing it. But once the team gets together, I think he's going to show that, he belongs as like a pretty permanent rotational player.
There's some versatility there too between guards and the wing spot that he can play, and I know that's something Missoula hit on is that like he sort of fits in as a pseudo wing, not defensively, but the way he shoots off the ball. He doesn't have to have the ball in his hands to impact the game alongside the Jays because he can step out from way beyond the 3-point line and catch the ball and knock down these threes over and over again. And then we've given Danny Ainge a lot of grief for his last few seasons here, but the gift that keeps giving, his final gift to the Celtics, is going to be
final
Peyton
gift.
Pritchard. Yep, one of his
His
big
final gift
draft
was
steals
an
ever.
NBA Hall of Famer.
And no, I mean, think
Could
of how
be.
valuable shooting is in the league now. Like, you can overcome any other deficiency and make this league by being an elite shooter. He has other areas of his game that are pretty good, but on top of it all, he's been above 40% from three his whole life in the league. Throughout the first season, into the summer league, he just knocks them down like nothing. And he was one of the best catch and shoot guys, period, last year in the league. So if he can start to impact the ball handling distribution part of the game like they've really stressed with him, it's going to be huge, and it might start to make them make some decisions on some of these other guards down the line here. Of course, there's 3 guys with expiring contracts in front of them. It will be hard for him to play consistently this year. Sherrod and I talked about that in our video yesterday. Like, there's a lot that he's going to have to break through still to get regular minutes on this team. But the fact that he can play the wing and the point spot, it'd be huge for him.
And it might be Danny Ainge's last gift, but we did see him on the sidelines in Game 2. I don't know if you guys saw him tonight, but he was there Game 2 in a Celtics shirt, by the way. So maybe he's still pulling some strings behind the scenes. We don't really know what's going on.
Hardly home, but always repping, baby. That's Danny Ainge right there. Hardly home,
As
but
long
always repping.
as long as it's on the West Coast.
I mean, did you honestly expect that the next time you saw Danny Ainge at a game, he would not be in some way, shape, or form repping the Celtics? Come on, Jimmy.
I mean, it was like a front office. It was like the shirts that he always wore. So I'm just saying.
Oh, you mean the shirts that he's got like 20 years worth of? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. He's just.
But now
he just packed
now
the
he's
suitcase
flexing
with the same shirt.
Now he's in flex mode. I like it.
So
he's in flex mode.
Here's the thing.
He was sitting next to Brad, I think, too. So
he's
Right.
like, "You're welcome,
Well,
everybody. You're welcome."
Here's the thing about
Yeah.
Danny, though, because I talked to Danny earlier this week about just where things stand with him in the Celtics, and he made it clear that Brad and his staff are running things, but he is a sounding board for them. So sounding boards are going to be in the building.
that's right.
And that's why they're there, so to bounce things off of. And I think he enjoys that role because to me, it's the best role you could possibly have. Because if something works out well and you're a sounding board, well, shit, I was a sounding board. I made that happen. And if it doesn't work out well, it's just like, well, it wasn't my decision. I was just a sounding board.
Hey, yeah, right.
He is in a perfect position to be impactful, but with none of the culpability that comes with decision making. So,
Hey,
boy.
look who it is.
Hey,
can I,
Speaking of a
Jay-Z.
sounding board.
Wow.
Speaking of a sounding board,
Hova.
John Zannis, everybody.
Jay-Z in the
Jay-Z
building.
is in the
John Zannis
building.
joining us.
What's going on,
Oh,
In the
John?
building.
What's up with the Pats?
What up?
Give us a Pats update.
JC.
I like basketball
surprised-
too.
I'm surprised I don't see a Fox.
No,
a Fox
John,
Rose background.
You can't sit with us.
I
You
only
can't
stayed for
sit
the
with
first
us.
half.
You
I
can't
was
sit
thinking
with
of
us.
that.
So
okay.
you stay long enough to see Cam get stripped by Chase.
I watched Cam. Watched a little
That's like
Mac.
the only thing. That's the only thing that I saw or heard
John-
about in the first half.
John said, "I've seen enough. I'm out."
To be fair, Isaiah Wynn might need to be looking for a new job after that one.
Oh man.
Well,
because
it's tough against.
He got undressed on that sack by Cam, but Cam again,
Damn.
like everything, like always, he just can't feel the pressure ever. He's just sitting there like, and again, it came quick, but like he just whatever. Yeah. Oh yeah. Anyway,
All right. Hold on, Joe. We gotta put you on.
We need to do
on
an-
the hot. We gotta put you on the hot seat here, though. Who's starting? Week 1, Cam Newton or the rookie? Who's
all right,
starting?
hot
Mac
seat.
Jones.
Okay, here I am on the hot seat. I don't believe the Romeo excuse. Okay, that's my number one
Oh,
thing.
you got theories now.
I'm dubious.
Romeo died in Vegas. Is that the
Dubious.
next theory that we're gonna get?
We couldn't get any.
It doesn't smell
Celtics are
right.
We couldn't
Covering
get
up.
any answers, John.
It doesn't pass the
Yo.
smell test off an
I
off
think it's the wrist. I don't know.
off
That's
of
me,
an
Joe.
off day,
I think it's the wrist.
an
To be
off
fair,
day, and he
He
needs
did look
rest,
completely fine on the bench.
and it came out of nowhere. No way.
Oh, he looked
No,
fine on
it's
the bench,
weird.
Bobby. Yeah.
No,
That tells a
Josue
lot.
just said a wrist thing. He didn't have anything on his wrist.
Sherrod
He
knows
didn't have it.
something.
Oh, he didn't have
Sherrod
anything on
knows
his wrist? All right,
something.
never mind.
There was a moment in the last game where he either took a spill or he got fouled hard, but there was something, and he stayed down there for not too long, but long enough to where you're like, oh god, because I remember I couldn't see exactly what happened. I'm like,
Mr.
who the hell's on the
Glass.
ground? They were like, it's Romeo. I'm like, oh.
Mr. Glass.
But he was able to get back up, and I guess he kept playing. But Romeo, would anyone be shocked if there's some kind of injury that they're like, they're
So
gonna give him some rest, and then
Here's what's strange, Sherrod. If he was shut down, if they just said, all right, we've seen enough from him, that's it, you'd understand that answer, even though we probably wouldn't be satisfied with it. But he's going to play on Saturday, apparently. So
here's the only way that's gonna make sense. If either Neesmith or Pritchard does not play on Saturday, because then you're thinking is okay, they rested Romeo on this third game. They'll play him on Saturday, but we're gonna rest one of our other guys in the final game,
Which you have. You
Right.
frequently see in these summer league games. So they rest 3 people at a time. Often they're like they're all out, and we'll let the real.
You
beat
said this
gamers
too,
in.
John. They have a small team, so they can't sit these 4 guys at once, probably.
Yeah.
Right. But that's the only way that I can buy the Romeo is, this was a planned thing. Because if it was a planned thing, then you sit him first, and then you sit one of those other 2 guys. But if those guys play and Romeo plays,
Yeah.
Is it weird that we didn't see a whole lot of Yam tonight? Right? What do you have? 14 minutes? I mean,
that was a good thing. That was a good thing.
That's a good thing. You think?
That was a
think
good thing.
Well, I would assume in a game like that, that's what you would see 25 plus minutes out of Romeo, right?
Well, you wanted to see Sam Hauser. I mean, that's the guy. That's your 2-way contract guy. That's the guy that is supposedly a shooter, but doesn't play enough to where you can know if he can shoot or not. He got that chance tonight, and he killed it. He did exactly what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
So
He went off.
Yeah.
I think he started 2 with 10 in the first 2 games.
I would have much rather the Celtics. I would have much rather the Celtics. When asked about Romeo, said we wanted to make sure Sam got minutes, and this was a way of us doing that. That would have been my excuse.
Beggarin started over him there.
I hate that excuse. Listen, I said this earlier.
That's legit.
I just said this earlier, though. Romeo, it's like, oh, I want to give the young guys minutes. Romeo is one of the young guys. Like,
You are a young guy.
more than him? Who needs minutes more than Romeo?
My conspiracy is less injury and more like I just didn't like where this guy's head was at right now, because we've been talking about like, is he taking it seriously or not? You wonder if it's kind of like
I like that conspiracy too because it was just like, hey, you know what? What do you got?
I had to play
and before people say like fake news, you're making stuff up. I'm absolutely making this up. I'm just saying.
Well, when you think about the quotes though, like
evening news.
Before this thing started, he's like, I mean, I didn't have to, I want to, but
right. I don't like anything about it from his press conference to everything that he's done and the attitude. It's like, Romeo, you got one fan in this town, buddy, and it's me. Okay,
and that's not the fan you want,
Romeo.
And I'm trying. I'm trying.
I'm not ready to turn on you.
He will turn on you in a second, Romeo. Don't trust that shit.
If you only have one fan, you don't want it to be John Zannis because you will have 0 fans very quickly.
Are you impressed by Hauser, John? Did he do it for you today?
Dude, I love shooting. You know that.
Yeah, I hope so.
I gotta give you guys this quote because this is so good from his college coach last year, Tony Bennett. He goes, "I've had the privilege to coach Klay Thompson and Joe Harris, Malcolm Brogdon, Kyle Guy. You start going down that list, and it's like, whoa, I'm so proud of Sam." So he's putting them right up with these, these names: Klay Thompson, Joe Harris, Malcolm Brogdon, Kyle Guy in terms of shooters.
I just have this weird feeling that when Brogdon was coming out, that was kind of his sentiment. When the other guys were coming out, he was kind of putting him in that category too. I don't know. That seems a little too, I don't know, prepackaged.
Yeah. Kind
of like, you kind of take whoever is the current flavor that I'm losing off my team, who's going to maybe be in the pros. I'm going to make him like he's just as good as those other guys I've coached.
On a side note, the actual Tony Bennett, the OG Tony Bennett, hit on my mom one time.
Wait, what?
Wow.
He did.
Who's your mom?
They were
Tell me
in
you
a
were
hotel.
there.
They were
Tell
in a
me you were
hotel.
there.
My mom told us they were in a hotel together. My dad went to get a drink, and Tony Bennett kind of snuck up there. He's like, "How
That's
you
all
doing?"
Tony really needs.
Wow. Tony Bennett could have been his
Bennett.
Know
dad.
what your interests are.
How you doing?
You just say Tony Bennett could have been his dad.
Yeah.
Could
That's
have
not how
been,
it
right?
works.
Things that
Might
make you
still
smile.
be. Now I need a side by side of John and Tony Bennett.
He might be.
Nah, I think Tony.
Now that's accurate.
Nah,
Yes.
nah.
No,
Tony
you can't
Bennett,
sing. You can't sing.
No, I
Tony
can't
Bennett was
sing.
pulling. He was pulling that move where as soon as the guy goes to the bathroom, he
Oh,
swept in
yeah.
there, man. That's not the
Oh, he's
move,
Tony
man. I don't
Bennett.
like that.
Yeah.
He doesn't even need a move.
I guess he can get away
Yeah,
with
he
that. He
does.
can get away with
Everyone
that.
needs
That's
to move,
true.
Jimmy.
Couple of things, just
Or he
because
can
I
just start
jumped in late.
singing.
You
He can
guys,
just start singing. So
no, I can't. You guys covered all of it, but I did want to double down the Neesmith. Yes, we're hard on him game one because you wanted to see him dominate, and you guys said it earlier. And he dominates games 2 and 3. But it's just what Sherrod had talked about, the handle. And I tweeted it, like, just go into the hole. Like, he had those back-to-back plays where he took a guy off the dribble, and then he had another one where he drives and then he kicks to whoever it was down low for the bucket. Like, that stuff didn't happen last year. And you can attribute so much of that to no opportunity to practice that kind of stuff. You're just thrown in against really fast, really athletic NBA players, and you don't have time to see. You don't have time to go in your bag. You can just kind of focus on the things that you know how to do. And so he just never had a time to. And it was rough too. It still had a lot of people I'm seeing compare it to Jalen. I see that. Jalen's still figuring things out with his handle. Where can I get to? How can I do what I want to do? You're figuring out how this thing goes. But that's a definite evolution in his game we didn't see last year. And Pritchard coming on, looking like he just went back to his old gym to tool on his high school buddies. Like, that's the type of vibe he's got right now.
Yo, Pritchard reminds me of the guy who he's a junior on varsity. He goes to the holiday tournament and just lights it up.
Just lights it up
because there's no seniors there. There's no seniors there, so he's going off. Yeah.
Or the pro who goes to Rucker and he's just like, watch me shoot from 40.
For real.
This is so encouraging on Neesmith though, because the thing coming out of the draft with him is, all right, he's a spot-up shooter now.
Oh, shit. Washington gets the 2-point conversion. We could be
They
headed
just
to
win?
overtime.
What's the score?
Oh, boy.
15
So
all.
many
What are you doing?
unnecessary overtimes this week.
Why would they go for 2 and force an overtime?
Because they're the Washington freaking football.
Execution.
And the football team.
That's
the
crazy.
kind of these teams are grinding out here at summer league.
Isn't
too,
there an
like
unwritten
forcing
rule
overtime, forcing double overtime?
Unwritten rule in preseason football to not go to overtime?
Yeah.
I just want to say real quick on Neesmith, like there was a possibility with his length and his size and his physique, really. Like he looks even stronger than he did last year. And he came in looking pretty good in terms of muscle. That he could be more than a shooter. And John mentioned that dish toward the end to Hauser, I think it was, in the lane, playing some point on that possession. His length on defense gives him some serious potential on that end. And the rebounding. Like, remember that month last year when he was just all over the offensive boards? And I went back to his
He's
Vanderbilt
still getting
numbers,
after it.
He had some huge rebounding games at Vanderbilt, like 15 boards in certain games, like as many as that much. So he's a guy who could average like 6, 7, maybe even 8 rebounds a game if he gets into a regular role on this team. Now, what we got to see ultimately with the theme that Udoka's undertaken is whether he's going to be in rotation defensively and locked in on that end and, able to play through the pick and roll and all this different stuff that you have to do on this level. Because that's where he really struggled last year, right? It was like knowing the defense coming in and keeping up with things like that.
Neesmith?
Yeah.
He was getting, they made a big deal about it in the last game. The broadcasters.
That's what's going to decide how much he plays. Beyond all this.
He's getting blown by a little bit here. He's coming out. He's taking weird angles. And guys are taking him off the dribble. Defensively, he's overplaying times when he doesn't need to. Positionally, he's almost like he's kind of got Rob Williams, year 2 vibes. Like just kind of like, what are you doing here? Just in terms of his positioning and just sometimes being a little over aggressive. He's got to kind of chill out a little bit on the defensive end. He's a little too all over the place there.
Everybody we talked about today. Yeah,
What's that?
everybody we've talked about today still has to prove their worth defensively. Like, you really can't do that in summer league. And
Romeo's
like,
the
fit
only
within
one,
the
and that's
system.
why he played. Romeo's the only
Yeah.
one.
So that maybe
Who-
that's why he's sitting on the bench. They're like, all right, we know you get the defense. That's all you really
They
need
felt
here.
good about his D, but you're waiting to see some other evolution to his game, something.
Pritchard, too.
Please.
Yeah.
Please. Don't give me that.
Some of the viewers here probably more knowledgeable than we are, saying there's no overtime in preseason games, which would be great. So I will tell you if
I
that's.
knew it was an unwritten rule, but I didn't know it was a written rule.
I didn't know that, but yeah, that's good.
Have you guys seen the sudden death overtimes here? Like,
Yeah,
the second
I like
one
it.
too.
excited by that. I asked the
That Brooklyn
Celtics
game
coach-
was fire.
I asked the
Brooklyn
Celtics
game.
coach about those after the game, and he was like,
Oh, they
cool.
dropped
We need to
Oh,
make
my-
those the first overtime sudden death. Forget
Yes.
about.
Well, it
make
is
that
It's 2
overtime.
minutes, and then it's a sudden death.
Shootout.
But, that was
Yeah,
so
just
I
fun.
make
don't want 2 minutes. Just go straight to sudden death.
Go
Forget-
Yeah.
3-point contest.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I like that.
Pick your
3-point
best shooter
contest.
at one end of the floor, our best shooter at the other.
3-point shootout. Hauser versus whoever you got. Go.
Exactly. Let's
Well, I
do that.
posted.
All right,
I posted.
all right.
Best versus the best.
I
You know
posted
what? On
the
that-
or go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I posted the video of that. I think it was Dallas and Utah, and the guy got fouled on the first play in the sudden death. He missed the first free throw because all you had to do was hit the free throw in the game. So he takes the second one, and like guys are getting in his face from the other team to like try to like distract him before the second one, and then like a little fight almost broke up, and then he hit the second one. That was the game. I loved that. I mean, it's never gonna be something that happens in a real game, but I like that they try fun things out here. And do you know you can foul 10 times in these games?
Yep.
A guy in the
Yeah,
Knicks
yeah.
last night had 9 fouls. I was like, oh, geez, that's
Yeah.
like the worst way you can prove yourself to fit in the league is 9 fouls in a game, in a 40-minute game.
It's going for
And
that
he's
triple
checking it.
double.
He's checking back into the game. It's like, okay, all right.
Did
no,
I do
probably-
good, coach? Like, no, you did not do good.
And it's a 40-minute game, 9 fouls.
Sit down, son. You know.
I'm still in the
Did not
game.
do
It's
well.
it's a 40-minute game, and you fouled
Yeah.
9 times.
My guy,
I
you
said in
damn
the-
near fouled out twice. You damn near fouled
I
out
said
twice.
in the chat
Not the
yesterday,
move.
someone's got to tell Neesmith that you can foul 10 times because he
Yeah.
will use them.
Well, no, my question for
Seriously.
you guys, though, Bobby and Sherrod, since you two were there, Peyton Pritchard's distance, is this a legitimate thing that we could actually say is going to form into, a legitimate threat for opposing teams? Like, I don't know how much of this, like, don't get me wrong, I love it. I love the fact that he's taking that chance. And I would love for him to add that into his game. But do you see it, coming into next season that he's going to be able to lock that down and something that he's able to, that Celtics could rely on to knock a three of that,
He
like
better.
one or two shots like that a
He
game?
better. I mean, why the hell are you shooting it now if you're not going to shoot it in the games? Don't pull a Ben Simmons and do this stuff in practice and that you don't do in games.
Oh,
Did you
man,
see?
got the Ben Simmons.
We got our 1 3-minute Ben Simmons shooting jumpers clip
We
of the
got it.
offseason.
We got it. Him and Rondo
Always
of
get
all
it.
people.
We always get it. You get it. He's still shooting lefty. He hits 2 or 3 of them, and everyone's like, "Ooh, it looks good." You
But
know?
he's
I will
He's
not
not
be
picking-
Charlie
he's not
Brown
picking
by
up.
him. He will not Charlie Brown me. I'm not
Yeah, but
buying.
you
I am
can't.
not trying to.
Right.
You can't. You can't. He's,
Well,
he's cheering
meanwhile-
over everyone. Look at me. I'm
Me-
gonna shoot threes. Nah, I'm not buying it.
Meanwhile,
of-
Philly can't even get a hold of him, so I don't know if I'm buying it. I don't
Yeah.
know. We'll see.
The
We'll
Pritchard
see.
stuff is real, though. That stuff is real.
I
Like,
agree.
Okay.
I
I like that.
It-
I like that.
But what the question is, can he do it? Yes. Does he have the sack to do it? Like, how many?
Yes.
If you're a bench
Summer
guy,
league is one thing. Right.
if you're a
Summer league
bench
is
I
one
guy,
think
how
he
many
does.
35 footers is your coach gonna allow? You know?
35 maybe not, but
Yeah.
listen, this guy wasn't scared to shoot last year. And now if he's confident that he can step back an extra 3, 4, 5 feet, we'll do it. I mean, if you give it to him, I think he has no issue taking it.
Yeah,
Hey,
I don't know
Pat,
if he
something
catch
good.
and
We'll
shoot
see.
from that. I don't know if he catch and shoot from that distance. And again, like I think we're
I'll-
still gonna see him in that role next year on the wing more than at the point guard spot. Because like who's he gonna play over among Smart, Richardson, and Schroeder? That's a lot of guys. to try to
Ramondre
overcome.
Stevenson, my boys,
That's
91-yard touchdown.
Yeah, but see, that's why, Bobby.
Who?
That's why I'm thinking he's trying to add that to his
The
game
running
to
back they
separate himself.
drafted.
He's a rookie,
wants to
right?
step-
Yeah.
He wants to
Well, I
separate
just
himself from the rest. you
I
know?
just traded for I just traded for Harris on the Patriots, so I need all the other Patriots running backs to not. I need Damian Harris
Ramondre
to be the only
Stevenson
Stevenson
just
early,
went 90
Jimmy.
yards.
Yeah.
let me say this, because I know you guys got a boogie too, and I'm about to do the same.
Yeah, let's wrap up real quick. Yeah, go
But
ahead.
let me just give you guys a thing. 30 minutes after the game ends, we're going up on Patriots Press Pass, our YouTube channel there, with the Patriots post-game show. Myself and Evan Lazar, we were both down in Foxborough. He's still there. He's got to go dig in and do some interviews, hear from Mac, hear from Cam, and then he's gonna jump on post-game. We're going to go for, as long as whatever. But any of you guys football fans and you want some good analysis, obviously, we were there. Evan is there, charting the plays and keeping an eye on the game.
He's like
and he'll have a
Rain
lot to
Man.
say. He's amazing.
Yeah,
He really is. Like,
though.
he will
Yeah.
do not debate football with him. He will just put you in a fucking.
He's
blender
also
or something.
he's pretty
And
freaking.
he'll look at you like you're a piece of shit. He'll be like, "Yo, why
No,
are you even saying?"
he's got a lot of conviction. So
Yeah, he will.
Exactly. Me, exactly. Yeah.
he believes it. He knows what he's talking about. So he knows.
That's my guy.
And again,
That's my guy.
and one of the great things getting to watch there, you do get to see a lot more. Obviously, the vantage point from the press box is great because you're seeing everything versus TV. So you do get to, okay, that guy was open, he missed a guy there, blah, 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 or whatever. And you do definitely see some of that stuff. So you get a good idea of what Mac was looking at there. And he had a good game, I think, overall impressive. So we'll hear from Evan and myself. I'm going to go pretty up a little bit. And
Yeah, please do.
And and go there. I'll let you guys close it out. But again, anybody wants to join us 30 minutes after the final whistle, which will be in a couple of minutes from now.
Where can they get the link? Where can they get the link?
The link will be tweeted out on our Patriots Twitter account, Patriots CLNS. Make sure you follow there. If you guys are still on 5 minutes from now, I'll have Ahmed put it in the stream. All right, guys? I'm out.
All right. Appreciate you, John. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody at home. See you guys. See you guys in a few minutes.
All right, sounds good, John. Damn, John.
Real quick,
John's got a busy ass day. So yeah, let's make this quick, guys. Let's go around real quick. Final thoughts. Let's start with Sherrod and Bobby, since you guys are out there, of course. I mean, Saturday night. I mean, before you guys jumped on, I said if they win this Saturday, I don't see why they don't at least get into the championship round, because they've been blowing teams out at least for the last couple of games here. So what's your final take here going into Saturday?
I want to see Romeo. I want to see Romeo play. At this point, he, to me, will complete the trifecta of the guys that we came to see this summer to frankly show that they've made progress towards the upcoming regular season. He's the only one. He's the last one standing. So I want to see Romeo, and I want to see Romeo show. Now, I don't want him to just show up. I want to see him show out. I want to see him dunk on people. I want to see him play great defense. I want to feel at the end of the game that he has made a significant impact. And if that's the case, regardless of whether they win the next game or win the championship, that to me makes this a successful summer league for this team.
That is not the bathroom behind me, I can assure you. That is not where I would plant out.
What you got? What's your final thought?
The Romeo thing's huge. He's the last step to check off the list and show, all right, these guys have separated themselves from the pack here. Going back to the championship thing, I know it sounds silly, but I do think that would be a good thing for this group to show that they could come together and just plow through this tournament and beat all these really good teams. They're going to have Philadelphia, who's a solid summer league team, coming up on Saturday as well. And then you'll get feasibly another really good team in the championship, because then you go right to the championship after that. So I think they can do it. I think you have enough firepower here. They have really blown teams out just in terms of how they've won over these 3 games. And there's enough NBA players on this team between Fernando, Pritchard, and Langford, and Neesmith that they're going to be capable of doing it. But if physically any of these guys can't hold up, I understand sitting some of them out down the stretch here and being more on the cautious side. It's not that important to win a championship. But there's some depth on this team, too, now that you see how Hauser's playing. We didn't even talk about Brand, who looked by far the best he has with the Celtics so far, and probably past Yam in terms of overall production through the summer league right now. So they got a nice array of players here. We'll see how it translates, but all you ask is that they separate themselves a little bit at this level, and really the whole team has, except for Langford. So we'll see where he goes.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I don't have anything really extra to say. I would just be repeating it. I want to see a little bit more out of Langford, and I'm happy to see what I've seen out of Neesmith and Pritchard. If they can continue that and win the next 2, great. I think it would be nice. I agree with Bobby. It would be nice for them to sort of pull out a little championship here, because it just puts a little taste in your mouth. There's nothing wrong with that going into the training camp. So That'd be great. And either way, I've been pretty happy with what I've seen over the last 2 games. So the rest is kind of like almost like gravy, I guess you could say.
The final thing I'm going to say, guys, is that I feel like the past week, like I've almost done a 180 with this team, and not in the sense of like I was
The
giving up on
summer
them, but
team.
the summer. Well, not no. I mean you know what? I'm gonna say the Celtics culture altogether, right? And what I mean by 180, I wasn't like it's not that like I didn't expect anything from this team. I just didn't know what to expect. And now I feel like seeing Jason
I'm with
Tatum
you.
out there, seeing Jaylen Brown out there, seeing Schroeder added to the roster. Obviously, Brad Stevens' moves have a lot to do with this. I just feel like we're starting to see at least the beginning stages of maybe a team finding its identity. And I
Like a
know it
little
might be
unity.
yeah, I mean, it might be just me jumping the gun here, but like I just feel like it's starting to trickle down because those two guys are in Vegas, I think Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum being there has a lot to do with that. And I think that it sends the right message that like, hey, we're all on the same page here. We're all, striving for the same thing here. I mean, obviously for the guys participating in Summer League, it's much different to, compared to guys like Tatum and Brown. But I feel like them being there makes other guys like that feel like, okay, well, if I can join on with these guys, if I can click on and become a fixture to this rotation, then these guys are going to have my support. I mean, they're going to support me every step of the way. And I think that's a big thing for this team because given what happened last year and given that we're seeing Kemba Walker traded and, I just think Tatum and Brown being there, it really does send the right message for this team and for this organization. And that's it. That's all I got. I
Nice
just
way
want
to
to add
end
that
it,
out there.
Josue. That's a good way to
Yeah,
end
that's
it.
why.
It's been a good week. It's been a good week for certain.
No,
No, I agree
but,
with you. I agree with
as
everything you said, man. I think
No, I
you're
know,
spot
but
on. I mean, we'll see where it goes,
yeah,
but it's put it this way, it's a good start. It's a good start.
right. I feel like
So
as I'm saying, as I was saying that, I was like, what are they going to respond to this? And I'm like, okay, cool, agreed. But I just want to get that out.
no,
Thanks,
no,
Joe Sway.
no.
It
I
has
mean,
been a
hey, they're all
it
singing,
has been a
playing. They're all
good week
singing
for the team.
"Kumbaya" right now. That's great. They're all having
Yo,
a great time.
3 weeks ago, I
But
wouldn't
it'll
have
be a different
expected
story when
this.
that 5-game losing streak comes in. Then what they're
Yeah,
gonna be
right.
saying?
Yeah,
I
right, right,
would,
It's
I
right.
your
would have
fault.
never.
It's your fault.
Yeah,
It's your
that's
fault.
true. That's true. But hey, food for thought. So that's it. I'm out. I'm up out of here. Everyone,
All
thank
right,
you for
guys.
joining, of course. Jimmy Toscano, Sherrod Blakely, Bobby Manning, John Zannis, getting ready for a whole nother show. Of course, Patriots fans,
Yep.
stay tuned. Plenty more coverage coming up. But that's going to do it for us, man. Until next time, of course, this weekend, I'm up out of here. I'm Josue Pavon. That's going to do it for us. Garden Report. We'll see you guys.